Hi there everybody, this is Comic Book Shaman here with you again with another George Herrimans Krazy Kat Screencast, number 6. Today we're going to look at one of my favorite aspects of Herriman's art, the pantomime strip from November 6th, 1921. Yeah, well, it's almost pantomime. Here in the first panel, Officer Pup sees Krazy kick back. All's well. Goes behind the wall. And then what happened? The front man for the ball comes along and slaps up a poster on the wall. Krazy's looking up. What's that? So he looks over. Grand ball tonight. Oh, getting into his dancing mood. He looks around. What's this? Goes over and finds a tutu hanging on the line. So he tries it on and dances a bit. And what's this? Ignatz with a brick looking along from behind a tree. And the cat's dancing. And aha! Pup pops out from behind the wall. Ha! All's wrong! And Ignatz freaks out, drops the brick, and splits. All's well. Pup goes away. The cat's still dancing. Then suddenly, this old gent comes along in a tall sombrero and a big beard and a big coat, carrying a bouquet of catnip for the cat. And Krazy Kat's taken aback. What's this? And the pup walks by. All's well. The cat buries his head in the catnip, sniff, and boom! He comes out. He goes into a catnip frenzy, and he's dancing around until finally he's all worn out. He's kind of going around in circles there, and out pops Ignatz out of his disguise. Picks up the brick and zip pow. And an Officer Pup, unknowing what happened, comes by and sees the cat there again, sleeping against the potted plant. All's well. With this strip, Herriman really outdid himself. It's just a masterful design of the way he overlays the panels, the way he makes the kinetic energy work across the page. He draws your eye around from right to left, up, down, around. It's really a masterful use of the comic page. Delightful dancing of Krazy Kat. He's carefree. He's going around, and then he gets the catnip roofie, and he just goes in berserk. He's dancing and dancing and dancing. He's getting dizzy. He looks like he's getting ready to pass out anyway. And then of course just the classic punchline, zip pow. And Officer Pup, in fine fashion, he never really quite knows what's going on. The design element that Herriman frequently uses, that the square panel right in the center with the dark, the black right in the center. It sets the stage for what goes on all around it, of the energy of Krazy dancing all around, and that black panel in the center holds it all together. Herriman was a master cartoonist, a master designer, and this is just a really good example of his work.
I sure hate to wake the boss up, but the program goes on in 10 minutes. Just look at him lying there, sleeping like a baby. Yep, just like a baby. Maybe I ought to take his thumb out of his mouth again.
Now, Hetty, please. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Hetty. Stop it. Paulette, please, you're tickling my ear. Lana, stop kissing me. You too, Hetty. Hetty, stop.
Boss, wake up! You went to sleep to relax.
Huh? What? Oh, it's you, Rochester.
Yeah, and don't look so disappointed.
What?
You were talking in your sleep again.
Oh, yes. I dreamt that I was making a political speech.
That was a political speech?
Yes.
Well, with those people on your side, you'll even carry Maine and Vermont.
What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing, boss. You better hurry. You haven't got too much time before the broadcast.
Oh, the broadcast, always the broadcast, like a ghost that keeps haunting me week after week. Monday, I think of ideas. Tuesday, I meet with my writers. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we write. Saturday, I rehearse. Then on Sunday, I do my program. In a half hour, it's all over. And for what, I ask you? For what?
For a lousy $1 million.
No, Rochester, no. You have the wrong slant on life. Money isn't everything.
Boss, wake up!
I am awake. Gee whiz, look what time it is. I better hurry. Oh, darn it, I'm sorry I took that nap. Whenever I sleep, I toss and turn, get all rumpled up. How does my hair look?
Fine, boss, fine. You want to put it on now?
Yes, hold the mirror for me, please. Rochester, looks awful. It's sticking up all over. What happened to it?
Remember yesterday when you asked me to shampoo your hair?
Yes.
Well, the sideburns got caught in the wringer.
Wringer? You washed it in a washing machine? Rochester, that's the worst mistake you could make.
A worse one was putting starch in the water.
Starch?
You look so Nelson Eddies with those crisp curls.
Rochester, don't you ever put my hair in the washing machine. Told you time and again, I want you to lux it along with my undies.
Yes, sir.
Now, where's my...
Jack will be on the air in 6 minutes. You better hurry.
Oh, hello, Mary. I'll be right with you. Rochester, help me out with my jacket.
Yes, sir. There you are, boss.
Thanks. Wait a minute. Here, Rochester, I want you to spray a little perfume on me.
Yes, sir.
A little more. Ah.
Is that enough, boss?
Yes.
Now stand back while I sweep the dead flies out.
Yeah, now let's go. Rochester, I'll be back in about 35 minutes. While I'm gone, I want you to press the suit I wore down here and the tie, shine my other shoes, darn my socks, and think up a few jokes for next week's program.
But, boss, I'm your valet. You got writers to think up jokes.
Don't be so selfish. They help you mow the lawn.
Yeah, that's right. And since we lost our lawnmower, that rider with the buck teeth and revolving head is a definite asset.
And now I'd like to talk about a modern strip from towards the end of the 20th century. Calvin and Hobbes by the great Bill Watterson. He's well, I don't need to tell anyone anything about Calvin and Hobbes. It's just a great strip, and this, I feel, is one of my favorites from the entire run. Previously, Calvin had outgrown his house, and he went downtown to look for his dad, and he just keeps growing, and he outgrows the city, and he kind of walks out into the ocean, and he's looking up, and his feet are in the ocean, and his head's up in the clouds, and then his head is above the clouds, and then he's like standing there with his head up in the the lower outer space. He's just looking out. I'm a sucker for pantomime strips. They're always my favorite, and this is like a three consecutive pantomimes that are just some of the best I've ever seen in comic history, bar none. And then here in this next strip, Calvin's standing on top of the world, I guess, but he doesn't quite know what to make of it. He's he looks out at you, going, "What? Help me! What's going on?" And then he's like standing there on the earth, and he's getting so big, and he can just like barely be contained by the earth, you know. And then he grows so big that he's just standing on tiptoe on one foot, you know, on the earth. And then he loses it, and he goes flying off into space, and he's kind of freaking out now. And then he's like as big as the galaxy, you know. He's as big as the Milky Way, and he's growing bigger and bigger, and he's flying off, and he goes off, and he's floating into nothingness. And then out of the nothingness, he sees a door. Then the next day, he reaches for the knob, and he opens the door up. He's in his bedroom, kind of gets up on the chair at his desk, and here comes Mom. Well, how's the math coming along? I've almost started. Oh, brother, another discussion about my study habits and the importance of homework. His mom's going on, and he's just thinking. I tried explaining that it's hard to study when one's size suddenly starts increasing, but does she care? Ha! No, it's just blah, 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 like it's all my fault. Mom's never been as big as a galaxy, so she can't understand how anyone else could be. Sheesh. And then Calvin starts shaking his head. Oops, looks like she's wrapping it up. I better start nodding. Good, I'm glad we had this little talk. Yeah, it's like that's the way it is. Kids, they learn to read their parents at a very young age. And finally, on Saturday, Hobbes makes an appearance. Doing homework. Yeah, boy, you missed the show. I got a big lecture from Mom just because I got stuck on the ceiling and then grew so big that I fell off the planet when I was supposed to be doing my math. Gee, that's not very fair. You said it. Here, how about help me hurry up with these problems? Sure, tigers are great at math. Now, what do these little horizontal lines mean? That's a minus sign. Let me know when you're done. I'll be out reading comic books. That's another thing I love about this strip. All the references to comic books and all the times that Calvin's sitting there reading comic books. I love it. Yeah, Calvin And Hobbes is another one of those strips that really, he says a lot of real true dharma in what he does with his comics. And he's also a great designer and a great, he puts great energy into his drawings. It's totally animated and totally great artwork. Really, there's no one that can touch him in the last third of the 20th century.
Listen to your woman, but not closely.